It's the Get Foxy show. Again, we have Miss Otakara Klettke. Otakara was on the Get Foxy show 3 years ago. If you can believe it, it's been 3 years. And she is the author of Hear Your Body Whisper and most recently, Hear Your Brain Whisper. Otakara, thank you so much for taking the time. What have you been up to?
Hi, Terry. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure to return and talk to you again. I'm definitely honored. Well, since we talked, so the second book came out because the first time we talked, I just had the book about the body, the Hear Your Body Whisper, how to unlock your self-healing mechanism. Since then, I've published the Hear Your Brain Whisper, how to unlock your mind's potential. And I started coaching clients one-on-one because I realized that my books spoke to people really dearly, and it's been absolute pleasure and honor to be serving people to see on an individual basis how everyone's body works, and being able to be in that. And I'm sure you know it as a healer yourself, being in a front seat to watch someone, but for me, it's someone's body to just like bloom into not just health, but all that joy and happiness and vivaciousness. It's an absolute pleasure. So I've been up to so many good things. Oh, and I'm pregnant, so I have a personal news that at my old age, I'm gonna have a baby here in a few months. So all the good stuff, all the good stuff, aside of all the crazy COVID stuff as we all going through, but it's been good. It's been good.
Well, God bless you for that little baby. I think that's great. And being in the state of pregnancy right now, I'm assuming you're kind of putting all of your own protocols to work here with listening to your body. Have I got that correct?
Yes. I think like my pregnancy is actually, like I said, like it's kind of, I jokingly say that because I'm happy, but my pregnancy was not planned. I didn't count on getting pregnant. And I'm 45 years old. I'm going to be 46 when I'm going to give birth. And so, prior to that, in 2020, one of my ovary was removed and the other one was half of it removed. So I actually got pregnant by an accident at 45 with a half an ovary. So I think it's like every time when I go to the doctors, wherever I went, they're all asking me like, is this truly natural? And I'm like, yes, it is. It's like, I really did not, I'm blessed. I'm super grateful for that. But I was at that stage of my life where I did not think this would happen anymore. So I would definitely say that even the pregnancy itself was very much a result of my body truly wanting to show up for me, and just truly wanting to show up the vivaciousness, and truly wanting to show how young we can actually be despite the norms of an average person. So for sure. So I am definitely listening to my body and being much more in tune with the inside of me than I think I was even before. That's definitely true.
And how specifically are you kind of doing that as far as tuning in?
Okay, so I would say that like right now is a little different just because of the fact that I am pregnant. But if I would go, I think it might be more serving to your audience, unless your audience were pregnant women. to be more serving to actually talk about like how it was necessary, how it was more prior, because obviously I had to adjust things a little bit, although, you know, things like meditation and those things stay the same. But prior to getting pregnant, I was looking for a system, a sort of a method that would serve the body in a similar way, let's say like how meditation serves the soul. Because when we meditate, it does help the body a little bit, but it's more of like the mind towards the soul connection, because when we meditate, we kind of put that body in a state of relaxation. We kind of like allowing the body to like not exist, but just being calm, being not part of that, although it does take some benefits. So I was looking if there is something like a meditation that actually works so well for human mind, serves the soul so well. Is there something that would serve the body on a similar scale? And yes, we do have things like, you know, we have the healthy diet, we have the exercise, we have all those things that everyone knows about. Like, so it's not like, it's, you know, there is no myth that if you're gonna eat better, you're gonna be healthier, if you're gonna move, you're gonna be healthier. But it still just was not like, it was more of what I call soldiering the body. That like kind of like if you take a young soldier and you teach the soldier to become a soldier, you tell you gotta do this, you do that, you do that. And yes, you can get that soldier to get in a great physical shape. You know, you can get a soldier to do things, but like when it comes down to the moment when the soldier goes home, the soldier is gonna sleep in, not fold his or her clothes, not, you know, like a year after coming back from the army, it's going to be a different person than when they were in the army. And so that's how I felt like people do these things that somewhat works, but they're soldiering the body. Right? Like what I call soldiering the body. We're putting the body through a regiment where we kind of consciously have to take that body, take it to the gym, do the workout, or, you know, whatever we do for the workout, really consciously eat, really consciously do these things. And then it felt like, but then the relationship, there is not like a proper right relationship, because you don't have a right relationship between the soldier and his general, or the, you know, or like whatever is the whoever is. I'm really bad. I'm not good at ranking in the army. So whoever ranks above them, whoever gives them the orders, you don't have like the loving, the friendly relationship. And so I was looking at something that would serve the body, would have a great results, and it would not be harsh in a way. And so I did come up eventually through a lot of making myself into my own guinea pig through the years, and really trying so many things, like from fasting, like really going through all those things where I sort of soldier, but I was always trying to just be in kind of that in tune of looking what's happening, to a method that actually involves the body. So the body is physically part of that. And it's a similar thing. I call it cerebration, like a cerebral from the brain, because it teaches the body to take control over brain functions, and that sends out the things that actually send us towards a proper physiological state that takes control over the release of the neurotransmitters that serve us well, like oxytocin, dopamine, that we don't have to use some kind of external stimulants to get those, but that we actually understand how we can release, and mostly like how to not just have those joyful, but also like first, like how to get control over things like a cortisol in your body on your own, so we don't stress, so we don't have to have, because once we have that, we don't have to go through panic attacks, we don't have to go through anxiety, we don't have to go through any of that at all. And it's all within the body of understanding how the body functions. And once you get kind of hang off the bodily functions, then the body really just wants to be vivacious, really wants to be healthy. It really wants to thrive. You know, it's like warning, you can get pregnant at later stages of your life. Look, but the body just like really wants to show up for you and wants to be healthy, because the truth is no single body, human body, wants to hurt, wants to be in some bad place, wants to go through panic attack, wants to go through anxiety attack, wants to ache, wants to have a chronic issues. The body actually always wants to do the better thing, but a lot of times it's the mind that just does not know how to communicate properly, and mostly the mind thinks it knows better, which I personally don't think that's true.
So let me get this correct here. You are using the body to help support the mind versus using the mind to help support the body.
Correct. So if I may, to explain it a little more and involve the soul. So we have the mind, body, and soul connection, and or the spirit, or whatever we want to call that everlasting part of us that to me was there before we were in this body and will be there after we're in this body. So we have this ethereal, I'm not going to say the word properly,
Ethereal, yes.
Ethereal, there you go. Thank you. I needed that word, needed help. Ethereal, it's a hard word for a foreigner to say. I don't think it's an English word, but English changed the pronunciation to some kind of a weird original Greek origin something. So anyway, so we have this soul, ever living, everlasting part, easier to say, and that has this time span in our body for, whatever, so many decades that we're in here. And it's a beautiful experience. It's the time when the soul has the chance to experience physically living in a physical body and have the physical experience, being the part of the physical experience, which is awesome for the soul and awesome for the body, because the body needs that soul to be alive as well. And so kind of this cross section, the way how I see this cross section where the soul crosses the body is the place that we call the mind. The mind is the place where our ego resides, for example. It's not a place, the mind dies with the body. The mind does not go on with the soul further on. So that's why like our ego dies and stays with that. It's the mind is the servant to function in between, like a messenger between the soul and the body, to make sure to be the manager of both. And sometimes, and it's good, because it's even ego, it's good to some extent, because it gives us the sense of self. It gives us the sense of understanding that we would love our children just a little more than we would have when we would love some stranger's child, right? Like it gives us this sense that we need in order to be grounded in our body, in our physiology. So it's not bad as long as it doesn't overgrow to an extent when it's unhealthy. And in my country, where I come from, Czech Republic, we have a saying that fire, it's about a fireplace. The fire can be a really great servant, but a really bad boss. But it makes a really bad boss. And this is how I see the mind. When the mind is contained in that fireplace, it can keep the house warm. It can keep us very cozy, warm, and safe. And it's the most amazing thing we can have, to come in a winter day to a nice, warm, cozy fireplace. But if that fire gets out of hand, when the mind gets out of hand and starts taking over, it can burn that house down. And so it can be damaging for the soul. It can push the soul somewhere so far out we don't even know who we are anymore originally, that we feel like we don't even have understanding of our true core of who we are. And then the body gets hurt, because then it gets hold of things like our brain, like again, it gets hold of our brain mechanism, gets hold of our neurotransmitters, gets hold of those mechanisms that send the signals into the body, how to heal, how to stay healthy, and how to stay well. And so it's kind of like the mind. You can look at the mind as a parent. If it's a good parent and a body being the child, it's really healthy, and it's a good parent. It can really function well. But if that parent starts drinking alcohol and becomes an alcoholic, as much as he might still love the child, probably that parent, they're not gonna treat the child the way they want, but the child's gonna love that parent a lot. And I feel that a lot of times we try to, when this thing happens, when this parent becomes an alcoholic, when this fire gets out of place, we tend to go to, that's fine, we tend to go to that abusive parent and asking the abusing parent to stop the abuse, where instead we need to educate the child how to help the parent and how to make these things happen. Because at that point, a lot of times we're going to the mind that's already bad to try to ask the mind to fix, where actually just the same tools are completely available to the body, and the body can fix it as long as we allow it, as long as we kind of green light the body to take it. Because in the end of the day, a lot of those neurotransmitters, the way how we feel, how we process things, are related to our hormones, our, the mixture we have in. And we might feel like it's the soul, which is actually not true, because the soul is always the pure, the pure divine part of us. And then we like create these mixtures that we get upset, like our anger, frustrations, and all these moments are kind of results of, malfunctioning, or having that mind, taking that hang off these things. But if we teach it from the point of the body, which it's completely doable, like we know that if you're going to stand in like the Superman position for 30 seconds, your testosterone is going to rise up 20%, right? Like we actually know these things. If you're gonna spread out your arms and smile, it's extremely difficult to put yourself in depressive state. Because if you're gonna be depressed, the body's gonna show. It's a physiological thing that comes with it. Depressed person's gonna have, slouched arms, head down, look down. Things I don't even have to point out here, because if I were to say, how does physically look a person who's depressed? You know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you, how looks a person who's joyful and happy? You know the answer too. So it's always the physical. And so you can actually work with the physical body to reverse these things. And it is an amazing and joyful experience, because the body really wants to do these things. It's usually the mind that like slams the body down.
That makes complete sense. And as a Chinese medicine practitioner, I'm right there with you. We talk a lot about, at least in traditional Chinese medicine face reading, for example, the body reflects the emotions. And so the lines on our faces show up because of those emotions that we have on a regular basis. And so one of the things that we can do is, for example, these lines in between the eyebrows, if you put a piece of tape right there, it creates an awareness for the body, so that when we crunch our eyebrows together because we're irritated, angry, frustrated, that tape wrinkles and becomes, it gives us more awareness. It's like, oh, I forgot, I need to check in with myself. And oh yeah, I guess I am feeling angry, irritated. Why is that? And then you can delve into it. So this is fascinating stuff, Otakara.
Absolutely. Well, so we're right there together with the same thing. I like that with the tape, like just to get it a little more. We so forget because we so don't pay attention to our body. But once we actually start paying the attention, once you actually understand what you look for, it's like tuning the, and I think this is gonna be good for people who are my age and older only. when we used to have the old radios, do you remember the old radios when you used to tune with your hand and it would go from, you know, the static sounds to tiny bit hearing it, and then you're looking for the station, you go past it before things went digital? That's kind of the same thing, because the body really wants to talk. And a lot of times, because we're doing this manual tuning, as soon as we like hear something, we're okay with that. When we can still actually tune it, if we listen better, we can actually get the perfect sound, the perfect radio station. So
Absolute sense. Yes. And I am that age myself. So I played those radios when I was younger.
Right. Well, you're doing a good job at not frowning, because you don't have a single, I don't see anything on you. You look your face looks wrinkleless.
Oh, well, thank you. They're there. I mean, you can, if I really zoom in, they're there, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I always say, like, the only wrinkles, like, I'm like really striving to have are the crow wrinkles by the eyes, because those are the smile wrinkles.
Yes.
Right?
Those are the smile lines. If you have those, it shows you are a happy person.
Yeah, and your life expectancy is gonna be very long. Happy people live long lives.
So how can people find out more about your books, and can they work with you on this sort of stuff?
Yes, absolutely. So if anybody can find my books on Amazon, that would be the easy place to go to. Is definitely Amazon. They're available in all formats, including audio. And I do have a website, Otakara Klettke, just my first name, last name.com, so that they can connect, also see my books and see everything. And just as a thank you for being here, I would be more than happy to, I will leave you a link. If you can leave the link with the interview, I would be more than happy to give a free hour consultation to kind of show anyone, you know, no charge. It's my gift to your audience, for bearing with me for this time, to have an hour consultation that we can look at their body, we can actually see. And it's amazing what just 1 hour, how much breakthrough people can experience in a single hour when we actually start working with that body and like allowing that body and seeing that body wake up. So that's it's something that actually anyone can experience extremely fast, and that's what's the beauty about it.
What kind of results have your clients seen, Otakara?
It really individually, it's very hard to like nail it as kind of an overall topic, because it's very individual. So some things, but overall, I would say overall results are always increase in energy, like high levels of energy, and being able to sleep properly, because everybody wants to sleep. So I had people who would be on sleeping pills for a long time and still would barely sleep 4 hours, and then afterwards be dragging through day. And after, you know, after I worked with them, after their body had a chance to show up for them, they actually start sleeping proper 8 hours at night, wake up refreshed, be able to count on their energy throughout the day, which a lot of them found important, because I had clients who were saying, like, I can't even set up an appointment because I'm so dragging all day long. So it's really nice to see that the energy goes up. You know, I had clients who had a severe gastrointestinal issues and allergies, and the body healed itself like to jaw-dropping extent out of like food intolerances and allergies. Again, it's not me that I directly work with that. I work with the body to allow that body to do what the body wants to do, to allow to have the body have the voice. So for a lot of cases, it's a chronic issues that happen there. Sadly, a lot of people I work with had experienced some sexual abuse as young, and so then the body went through a lot of trauma, And so some people I work with, like removing this trauma where the body kind of hangs on to this trauma, which a lot of times it results in people gaining a lot of weight because the body kind of like just try to protect itself in a survival mode. So if the body needs, it's a weight loss, but I don't like, just to clarify, I am not a person who focuses on weight loss as a result. It happens as a side effect of working with the body. If someone is overweight and needs to lose the weight just automatically drops once the body can release the fear, can release the trauma. So people who had a physiological trauma, I would say, are the most common, because we're getting that out and we're reestablishing the relationship of being able to be loving with, you know, towards the body and feeling the love back and feeling the things back. So weight loss, energy, sleep, and a lot of chronic issues are the most common things I work with people. Some people who already done a lot of work, those are fun clients, because I can take those people, like I said, like they're like the ones who did the high school and they want to go through college. So I'll take them to the whole other level, that we can find a way that how to access flow on demand. How do you access, where does your flow lies, and how do you can get in that entrepreneurial place of working, you know, and being able to focus on that work and install focus. That's you know, another thing, like install focus, install being able to work with your brain at the capacity your brain is truly capable of working. And it's amazing what the brain can do in older age.
Now that's cool. I have to thank you, Otakara. This has been an absolutely fascinating interview, and I really appreciate you taking the time. You are doing amazing work, and I want to honor you for just helping people and helping them improve their lives in a way that brings more life and light on this planet. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much for having the opportunity to have me here. Thank you, Terry.
You bet.